everybody. Welcome back to Level Uploading Fight Feelings Face Facts with yours truly, Shay. As you all know, I have been doing my women's health series, The Sitting Up in My Room, where we are discussing women's mental, physical journeys as they travel towards wellness. And so I do have a special guest for you today, a 20 plus year friend of mine,
Low keto.
Danielle. I'm like, whoa, I'm getting old. Danielle,
Man.
you want to go ahead and introduce yourself?
Yo, yo, yo. Hello, my name's Danielle Mitchell. Good for that. Yeah, we've been friends for years, since high school, and I'm a corporate professional currently in city of Chicago, and just glad that I can join the conversation and have something to add to the conversation. Absolutely. So.
Yes, I'm so thankful that you reached out to be a guest. I was like, absolutely. You like, how that sound? I'm like, girl, yeah, it sounds good. Come on. Get on the phone here. The more people, the better. We don't talk about a lot of stuff. So sometimes you got to
Just
just
broaden
get it
the
out there.
broaden the
Exactly.
scope a little bit, but
So do you kind of want to ease us into what we're going to be talking about today?
sure. So my, I guess, story, or I don't know what you would call it, but my journey, or life path towards
Mm-hmm.
really who I am right now, and building upon this for future is kind of based around a really big grief story, and a grief occurrence within my life. And
Mm-hmm.
I just reached out to you because I am in a place of awareness that I definitely didn't have prior to experiencing this traumatic loss. And I'm just in a place where I'm feeling okay. I'm aware that I'm still on the journey. I'm aware that there's
It's
still
ongoing.
it's ongoing. There's things to
Mm-hmm.
unfold, right? But I feel good about the position that I am in right now, as far as my impacts in within my community, people within my life, immediate family, friends, long-term friends that we don't see each other all the time or speak to each other all the time, but there's still something that I can take away from each and every relationship. And
Mm-hmm.
they can take, others can take from me, and be an asset in life or whatever. But just really figuring out where I lay, where I land, I guess,
Yeah,
along the
yeah.
spectrum per se. But just navigating this life for real, for real. And I just happened to kind of go through something that I definitely didn't plan for. And I
Oh,
didn't
I'm
really
sure.
know how to navigate when it happened. But I'm feeling real good and feeling very, very blessed, if I could be honest,
Yeah.
about just where I am mentally, physically, emotionally, and just all across the board. I feel really positive about life. And
Yeah.
why not share it on this beautiful platform with my beautiful friend? So
Girl, don't make me blush now. Don't
you're
make
so
me blush.
silly.
Okay, so I know that you kind of wanted to talk about kind of uh, anxiety revolving around,
As well.
basically like a
Mm,
due to grief.
yeah.
I think
Mm,
the term is bereavement anxiety.
for real.
I've been doing my research. I've been doing my research. Okay,
Okay.
so it's
I like
called
that.
bereavement anxiety. So, um, I guess of course with the loss, I'm not sure how much you want to share about that, but regardless of that, had you struggled with any type of anxiety like before this, or was this like kind of the catalyst?
I think this occurrence surrounding, in my life or whatever, I think this was something that helped me to become more aware of my anxiety. Like,
Mm-hmm.
I've always kind of been that person that there's been a lot of extra thoughts ongoingly in my mind, and it was just like, oh, okay, I was a diary writer back in the day as a teenager, so a lot of extra thoughts and things and stories that I would have in my head, I
Mm-hmm.
would write them out in excess, in great details and things of that nature. But navigating adulthood, navigating relationships, personal
Yeah.
relationships, work relationships, and things of that nature, it just And then even, starting my career or whatever that I'm currently in, just kind of like, how do I show up? Do I continue to show up like this? Is it
Yeah.
good? Yeah, we're doing it. It's fine.
We have to. I have to keep on showing up just like this for everybody.
All the
Hmm.
time. And
Yeah.
then even when I'm recognizing that I'm not showing up as I have as a standard, it's like, well, you got to keep up appearances because you're still able. You're still able. You can do it. Yes, yes,
Hmm.
yes, 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 yes.
Hmm.
And I think, um, and I'll go into some details. Of course, I won't reveal names and things of that nature, but I'll reveal what occurred because it was traumatic for me, and I'm okay speaking about it.
Okay.
But I don't, want to be disrespectful or anything like that
Of
to
course.
um, family members who are still
Yes.
here and things of
Of
that
course.
nature. So just with respect to that, but um, I think that the event definitely helped me emotionally become more aware that you have been just skating along. I was just
Hmm.
skating along just because I was supposed to, showing up.
Just kind of
Just
coasting. Yeah.
absolutely.
Relatable.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And I had been in therapy for a year or so before the incident, and um, it was kind of like, oh snap, like now we got a new avenue to go along. Like, how do I navigate this avenue in therapy? And
Hmm.
emotionally, I was just kind of broken. So, and I didn't really know what to do afterwards. So, I had to find a new box, almost create a box for the things that I was recognizing that I was going through mentally. Um, and it was like, okay, we have a safe space for it. Now, what does all that mean? Like, really
Right.
trying to figure all that out. And it was a lot. So I definitely would say that I struggled with anxiety before. Didn't have a name for it. Didn't know what to call it, but
Just how you
just
felt.
just doing
This
it.
is me. Just me being me, basically, not knowing that
Absolutely.
this is not the whatever normal is. This is not how everyone thinks or how they
Right.
feel about certain situations.
Or even how they operate. Like,
Yeah.
I just realized that a lot of people, whether it's corporate life or regular life, whatever,
Hmm.
personal relationships or work or whatever, you know, at the end of the day, you can only do what you could do. And you have to be okay with
You're human. You are
with
human.
what you produce. And
Yeah.
if you want to do more, you plan to do more and you get there. And if you can't get there, you be okay with what you did. And it's okay. Um, so that was kind of a big lesson for me, like afterwards. But it took me to go through this, I think, to get there. Absolutely.
So I know for sure, like anxiety kind of shows up for everyone differently. It can be one of those situations where it's like cold sweats or heartbeat. Like, what were some of like your symptoms? Like, what did you experience that kind of?
It would be a lot of even now it's like I'm a little bit nervous or whatever, but it's kind of like a little escalated. I would say it's like I know my heart's beating.
Hmm.
Take a breath, but instead you just keep talking,
Hmm.
and then it's kind of like my mind is moving so fast, but my mouth is
Can't keep up. Girl, trust me, I understand.
literally, literally. And then there's been times where it's like, I'm so angry that it don't matter what's going on. That these the anger was kind of scary for me because I had
Hmm.
never consider myself as an angry person or
Hmm.
non-confrontational or anything like that or whatever. Have I had to throw a couple bowls back in the day? Fine, but nothing where I'm just like angry, like
Yeah.
so much that it kind of hurt my physical being.
Yeah.
Um, and then it was like, then on top of that, things that I was ignoring physically, like you're not eating, what have you drank water today? Like all week? You're not having a thought about doing these things that are regular.
Hmm.
Um, so it was kind of that things. And then even when I had time and space to kind of go through my emotions, I would be stuck on one emotion or one instance. And even though I would journal and talk to people about it, I could not get over it. And that was
Like
just
you're kind of like
like,
fixating on it or whatever.
yes,
Yeah.
yes, creating more and more scenarios, creating things, just for the space, just to be in the space or whatever. But it's not,
Yeah.
because, some things I couldn't like check off. It was like they just kept kind of rolling and evolving. And
Yeah.
it would be like heat behind my ears in, different areas with your body and stuff like that. And I would literally have to like do something physically to put my mind in a different space.
Like let me do something. Let me get up. Let me yeah. So
Yes.
like I mean, of course, with any loss, you have a new future.
Yeah.
So how was that as far as like trying to reimagine like how we all have our plan. You know, we all have our
Yeah.
plan. We all have what we think is going to happen, and we get thrown curveballs all the time. That's just part of life. But like, for something to happen suddenly and you know tragically,
Yeah.
and you know not expecting it, how was that to kind of navigate like reimagining your future um, after something so traumatic? So you're dealing with anxiety, trauma, and now you also have to look ahead.
And then I guess I'll take just a second right here to kind of like dive into what actually happened, right? Because that kind of leads me to how I kind of deal with that. So I was in a long term relationship, and was just short of 5 years together. Me and this person, we moved in together and kind of established routines and life and all that good stuff or whatever. Um, and there was a crazy incident where we got into an argument, like people do. And after the argument, though, we didn't speak for like 3 days, even though we were operating in the same home, same morning routine, leave out at a certain time, get to the train, da 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 da. All these other things were happening normally, but it was like we didn't feel the need to speak to each other, and it was making me nuts. So
Like the coldest of shoulders to each other.
it's ridiculous.
Mm-hmm.
So I actually took that moment to like find a therapist. Like, am I crazy? Like, what the hell? Like,
Mm-hmm.
what's really going on? And then fast forward, we were kind of I would say maintaining, because there were things that were happening that we definitely were okay with collectively, but there were things happening individually as well that we weren't discussing. And
Okay.
we happened to get into an argument. And long story short, basically he just never came home. And I later found out that he had shot himself. And he was found in a park, and confirmed it was him and things of that nature. And I was just kind of broken, because we were in this place where it was like i I had so much to say and I
Yeah.
couldn't.
Yeah.
And I felt so many things, and I couldn't express them with this person that I'd become comfortable with
For
at this
all those
time.
years. Yeah.
I had finished college. I went back to school after a while, started way back in the day, finished up around 2017. And we celebrated and all that stuff. And my mom was kind of like, I'm ready for grandkids now, blah, blah,
Mm-hmm.
blah. And I was like, I had kind of been telling her, like, girl, not dealing with that, but
Right.
let me kind of check
Relax.
something off my box, off my to-do list or whatever. And one of
Mm-hmm.
them was school. And yeah, I did have a relationship that was growing and evolving. And I remember uttering the words like, yes, I would like to start a family with you or whatever. So I was kind of broken
Mm-hmm.
when all of that was kind of just cut off. And
Yeah. I'm so sorry that happened to you. I mean, obviously to him as well, but just you know, just having that
yeah. Mhm.
unfilled void. You know.
Yeah, it and I appreciate that for sure. It left me like I didn't realize, like I said, the anger scared me immediately after. I was so angry. Like I
Mm-hmm.
literally remember screaming for like hours. And I also had the thought, I was like, dang, I wonder if somebody living downstairs from me, because they ain't came and knocked on the door.
Like to see if I'm okay or anything.
No,
Like,
legitimately, I was like wailing like a dog in the rain, Lord. I don't know. But
That's an interesting analogy, but
my dog was making noise earlier, but anyway, so um it was just like heartfelt. Like I remember like finding out the time that the incident actually occurred, and now I remember feeling like exactly at that time like
that
heartbreak.
connection. Yeah.
um and it was weird. I've never experienced anything like that before ever in my life or whatever. So even going to therapy, it was like I think I had missed a couple maybe a couple months or so or whatever, and then I had went back to her and she was like, "Hey girl, how you doing?" And I was just like, "Girl, he gone." And she just was like, "What?" And I was just at that point I was so like not even knowing how to feel. Like I was he was gone, but I didn't know what to do. To tell you the truth, like it was like we weren't married, so it kind of was like for work purposes, it's like, you know, how much time can you take off, or
Right.
things of that nature or whatever,
Yeah,
like
there's so many
actual
logistics.
right logistic
Yeah.
things. And thank God I had a really great relationship with my with the owner of the company, so
Yeah.
he let me take a couple weeks off just to kind of hold my head or whatever. But other than that, I just kind of kept going, which now in hindsight was total craziness.
Yeah. It's a
um
lot to try to keep pushing through. It's like, but what choice do you have? But it's like at the same time, you needed that space to be able to not be okay.
Yeah, and I did take time or whatever, like a couple months after. I did end up going on like a family vacation and then a
Hmm.
vacation for my birthday and stuff like that, which was physically great. I was in a different atmosphere,
Okay.
but my mind was just downtrodden. Just kind of darkens things. And my relationships with my friends and good people were suffering or whatever. Just because I really just I was so angry and it was so sad.
Yeah.
And because I wasn't, it was some other things that were happening, right, that contributed to the anger, outside of him actually leaving this place or whatever, this world. And
Hmm.
it added to the fuel of not being able to communicate clearly, not being able to speak my piece. And I did have to find ways to just release. And
Yeah.
therapy was great for me. Journaling was good. I got into yoga shortly after. But the my routine was thrown completely off or whatever when I found out I was
Yeah.
pregnant shortly after, um, around like October. Actually,
Hmm.
end of October, I found out that I was pregnant or whatever, and we all know how that happens. But um,
That happens, Danielle.
um, I'm just, and I'll just insert right here, like I'm just very grateful for my current partner, that he is patient and communicative and
Yes. Come on, that's a blessing for real.
loving, so much to the point that he let me just lay out emotionally bare. Even
Mm.
though I was in a place where I was pregnant, right? And it was so funny because I literally was like, I'm aware that we've been doing this thing and I have been mindful about the part that I am using you.
You're a victim.
I would like to just let you know that right now.
I'm using you.
Hmm.
And
That's honest. I respect that honesty.
that's all I
For
had,
real.
you know?
Yeah.
And then but it was at the point where it wasn't just about me,
Hmm.
because literally within a couple of days of me having this conversation with him, I found out, well, realized that I was 9 days late. And because trauma and depression and all that or whatever, I looked up and I'm like, really now? Like, I've never been pregnant before, never had a close enough pregnancy scare where it was just like, oh, we got to make some life changes,
Yeah. You're
anything of
probably
that
like the only
nature.
person I know that was like that too.
I mean, at this point, I really understand that ain't nothing a coincidence, okay?
Very, very true. Very true.
And I communicated that, I wasn't. going to be, I've never been in a place where I had to make a decision, like I just said, or whatever.
Yeah.
And now that I was here, it was like, well, girl, now it's not just about you. Literally.
Yeah. Literally
Literally.
forever now at that point. Like
And I was honest with him about it, and he was just like, you don't have to worry about trying to give me anything while you
mhm.
focus on making sure that our child isn't growing up in a dark physical space. Like,
Yeah.
and that was so much more important to me than
Mhm.
where I was mentally. Um, I did end up having my daughter. Her name is Phoenix on purpose. She is literally the rising from the
Yeah.
ashes.
Mm.
She is literally my second chance for clarity, for life, for just thorough communication. She firebirds everything, and I call her that on purpose. Like, if I ever had a hesitation, and it's like
Mhm.
you feel the anxiety things building up, the
Mhm.
symptoms and all of that. Excuse me,
Nope. We
you
doing
don't
it.
have space for
Let's
that.
go. Let's
You don't
go.
have space for that.
Ain't nobody got time for that.
Yeah.
And
I love that.
I immediately took that on. Like as far as I found out I was pregnant, and I was maybe about 8, 9 weeks or something like that. And it
Mhm.
was immediately like, well, how you gonna have this baby? Because where you gonna have this baby? Because you know what you don't want, and
Right.
you don't know really what you do want, but
But you know what you don't want.
you know what you don't want, but you
Right.
need, her birth to become safe, and you need to protect yourself, your mental
Mhm.
space, as much as possible throughout this
Yeah.
pregnancy, throughout the labor, birth, delivery, postpartum, all of that or whatever. And
Mhm.
I had a partner who was willing and able, but he gave me space. He gave me space to be like, I remember having crazy dreams, and just really between the traumatic, incident that happened earlier in the
Yeah.
year. And then, there's a new life and a new brain and a new entity growing within my being or whatever. And it's,
Literally. Say
and
a
it's like,
whole life.
how do you pour, what you don't really have into that, and I had to make a way between therapy, between, journaling, and just being so honest. It could be, if I was woken up by crazy dreams at 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning, he would hold space
Mhm.
for me, as far as like just listening and just being there or whatever. um and I did end up having a birth at home, just because I don't deal with hospitals like that. So,
Yeah. You a strong mama.
girl,
You a strong mama.
it was, and I really do think that was like one of the most beautiful, beautiful times of my life. Like occurrences in my life per se,
Yeah.
that I had all control over. And it was crazy. What I couldn't control in that situation, I did, as far as atmosphere and who was there and the energy in the room and things of that nature.
Mhm.
I definitely didn't have no control over that 63 hours of labor,
Say
because Lord,
what?
63. Baby, take this uterus from me now. Take it
girl.
from me.
And as beautiful as that experience was,
That's a lot. How many?
when people ask me,
I'm sitting up here counting. That's almost.
girl, it's almost 3 days. Yeah. And that was from the first contraction to the last, till she came. And I was just like, I'm good. If I ever did it again, I don't know.
Listen, you never know. You just wing
I
it. Just
don't
wing
know.
it.
I don't
Just wing
know.
it.
But
Just
just,
wing it.
I have plans, about second career and things of that nature after 40 and all that other stuff. If it occurs, it'll be then. And I'm okay with that. But,
You have made your contributions to this world. I'm just saying, if you choose to do more, you do more. But I mean, you
baby,
have literally brought a whole beautiful baby girl in this world that's gonna be a force to be reckoned with. So.
and I know a lot of parents do it, and it's not, it ain't all of that, but baby, it was all of that for me. It came at the most beautiful time
Mhm.
and the most awareness filled time for me. And even now, she's going to be 4 at the end of the month. And I'm still learning things about, you know, my emotions, how I face trauma. It was so funny, even the day we agreed to and we scheduled the interview or whatever. I looked
Mhm.
up and it was actually the anniversary of my past partner's death. And um, I kind of like took a moment, to reflect, journal, of course, and things of that nature. But
Mhm.
I really am, and I said this or whatever, I really don't think that I would have went through the things and occurrences that I went through for nothing.
Yeah.
If it wasn't, at one point I used to say, like, the things that we were going through together,
Mhm.
this can't be all for nothing. This is all for the betterment of, those involved, others, even if it's not me.
Mhm.
And I still feel really great. I still feel that or whatever. Like, I have a forever life lesson in the fact that I can't let anxiety not let me be me. I
Yeah.
can't let anxiety not let me communicate clearly. I can't let anxiety continue to let me to take on more and more and more things that I don't have emotional space for.
Yeah.
And it's not, for anything, even work situations. I don't have space for that, and I'm good. And I kind of picked that up from my current partner. He's very direct. He's a
Mhm.
very, very blunt, and to the point
Mhm.
where sometimes, it's misunderstood, not by me, but other folks or whatever. And it's just like, I know exactly where he's coming from. You may not like where it is. You might not like how what he's saying making you feel, but if you're listening, and if I'm listening, it's something, it's more than likely something you need to hear.
Yeah. Something. Sometimes that you might not like the way that it's delivered, but you got to understand
Message
is
is
what
valid.
it is. Yeah.
Message is valid. And even though I wanted something so much more, right, I had to be okay with the reality that of what it was.
Yeah.
And I could have spent a long time being just downtrodden and depressed
Mhm.
because it was there. That box was so ready there for me. And I remember, literally, like, just sitting at the edge of the little black hole, and it's just like, boop, it's warm and inviting, and
Mhm.
it might, come up and rub your feet a little bit and stuff. And it's like, if you don't get your hands off of me,
Yeah.
I'm in danger.
Come on, we gotta get back from this.
I can't.
Yeah.
I can't. And I,
Mhm.
I remember a time where it was kind of like I just literally had to be vulnerable enough to release that. It's
Yeah.
okay to release that. You don't have to hold on to that anger, that emotion. It's okay if it comes back up, but you know what box to put that in. And you okay with your reality, and you have control of what you can control, and you
Yeah.
okay with what
Go.
you don't.
Exactly. Is there any thing that you can kind of advise for other people as far as you know anxiety, struggling with anxiety?
Yeah, I would say, when those uncomfortable feelings, happen and you recognize them, sit in them. It's okay to dig deep about what's actually causing you to tremor,
Mhm.
causing your voice to shake. It's okay to address it directly and move through it in that moment.
Mhm.
Um it's not it's not easy. It's never easy, and you may have to, come to the door, meet yourself at the mirror, whatever works for you or whatever, multiple times before
Yeah.
you're ready to completely slide through. I'm not trying to say I'm anxiety free. I didn't, I don't take prescribed medication or anything like that or
Mhm.
whatever. So it's not like I'm just checking off the box that it's done, but I have a space for awareness that
Yeah.
helps me along the way on a daily basis. Even when I know I'm avoiding something so that I don't get the anxiety, it's like, okay, girl, you gonna keep stepping in your own way or what's up? And there's this thing, about giving grace. Giving grace comes in so many forms. One, Monday, that could be, I only have capacity for this. I will make sure that whatever is done by Wednesday. But also giving Gracie is okay. Now we did that already. Let's put your big girl drawers on and keep it
Right.
pushing. You
Right.
know,
Yeah.
because Grace don't have to be tender all the time. It's just not. It can be in reality though. I'm okay with Grace in reality.
I think a lot of people like the sugar. They love the sugar with everything, and everything ain't gotta have sugar. And it
Mm-mm.
don't need sugar to be sweet. It don't gotta be sweet to be love. You know?
I'm gonna give you another one, girl. It's a lot of people that's used to white processed sugar.
Right.
Give me some agave.
For real. They will say
You know what I'm saying? It'll hit different. It'll give you what you need, but
yeah.
it hit a little different. You'll be all right. You'll be
You'll
just
be,
fine.
and that's the thing. You'll be fine. That's the thing. People don't want to hear anything unless it's laced with cookies and butter and happy pills
Processed stuff
and
that you know that you used to. The routine you used to. What you want to get back to the normal, but
yeah.
it wasn't okay. And you just have to be reality about what that is for real, for real.
I just feel like I'm extremely proud of you for being able to, first of all, talk about it, be cognizant enough to go to therapy and actually seek out help instead of, trying to self medicate or trying to figure it out yourself. And although you did have your own coping mechanisms that you did do, knowing that some stuff you just need to talk to a professional, even if it's not all the time, even if, like you said, you missed a couple sessions.
Yeah.
Yeah, it happens, but
Yeah.
just having that awareness that you need that, I think that's something that we could all
Yes.
all use because it's not talked about enough. And your friends and your family, they're great sounding boards, but they are not professionals. They don't have the tools that you need in order to effectively kind of, give you.
There's something about an unbiased opinion that
Yeah,
will, and coming from a source that you trust. I've
yeah,
always had a black woman therapist or whatever. Not to say I wouldn't have a man, but they definitely gonna be like me. Just
yeah.
putting that out there or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But it just makes a difference when somebody can hear you. And this just kind of reevaluate, just jumble it up in a different way, help you see
And
it
with
in a different
nobody
way.
else's, with nobody else's, no, none of the backstory really.
Yeah.
And they might have some of the backstory, but it's not. You know what I mean? It's not.
Yeah, it's not the emotional baggage
Yeah,
that
yeah,
come with it or whatever. Because
yeah,
I get it. Everybody got a truth or whatever. Like, um, everybody got a truth.
yeah,
But my reasons for feeling how I feel are valid, just like yours are. The way you feel are valid as well.
yeah.
And we all got to figure out which avenue to take to get to where we all need to be at the end, which is where we're comfortable at. You know.
Exactly.
So no, I
But girl,
just
I'm
moving
just so
along,
proud of
girl.
you.
I thank you.
So proud of you. I'm so thankful that you shared that. I mean, obviously I've been your friend for a long time, and I never asked about anything of the specifics. It didn't matter. At the end of the day,
Yeah.
my friend is going through grief. That's all that matters. I don't need to know specifics of what happened. And I mean, what to me, people always get on my nerve with that because it's like, why do you
Mm-mm.
need to know
It's not gonna help.
necessarily?
It's not
It's
gonna
not.
help.
You're just being nosy at that point. It's not. That has no bearing on.
Listen, I love a good reality TV. I ain't on it though. So
I know that's right. I know that's right. I know that's right. Y'all better go ahead and find y'all something safe to do and safe to watch because this
look at
ain't fun.
here. And even to that point, reaverting the message that you telling yourself. And the
Yeah.
reason why you're doing this, whatever. I've done that a couple of times throughout this journey and stuff. And even now, whatever, like I'm very open to sharing just where I am. It don't even have to be on platforms like this or whatever, like just drinks and coffee and
Yeah.
whatever is,
Yeah.
or even the water cooler conversation, which I ain't really with or whatever. But it's like if we gonna take a moment, let's have a moment.
Yeah.
I'm gonna make it in reality as much as possible, and that's just who I am and who I'm so very comfortable with being. So I definitely appreciate you. But community help for sure. I ain't do none of this alone
I know
at
that's
all.
right. Well,
At
I want
all.
to just definitely say thank you so much for being a guest. I am extremely interested in possibly having you back to talk about this pregnancy stuff. We need some women's
Oh,
help,
girl, shut up.
mommy helping. No, I'm just kidding. You don't got to. But I'm
Listen.
thankful so much for you for coming on. Is there any parting words before we go ahead and end this episode?
I mean, I always have a great time. I'm so proud of you for just continuing to build your brand, build your platform.
Thank
I'm all over the place. I'm following you on the podcast. I'm on the YouTube. So
you.
I'm,
Thank you.
but whatever y'all want to talk. I mean, I'm open. Again, my birth story is the shit, if I could say. Just
I
putting it
bet.
out
That's
there.
what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. I want to hear this because that sounds like that's a whole nother journey right there. And I mean,
Girl.
that still falls into women's health. That's
For sure,
that's
for sure,
the
for sure.
ultimate women's health. So I mean, we might have to get you back. I want to do like a little panel or something. Get some other people. Get some
Yeah, do that.
conversations going.
Do that, do
For
that.
sure. I think that'll be dope.
I'm definitely open. I'm praying for you and wishing you so much wellness and just a beautiful recovery.
Thank you. I got a month, girl. So
But
I'm
that's
on the
good.
table.
That's good. That's what's up. I know you preparing, but
Yes.
just sending you well wishes, sending you love and positivity for
Thank
just
you.
a thorough and blessed recovery.
Amen to that. Thank
Process
you.
and recovery, all of that.
Process recovery.
Yes.
I need to be snatched by fall time. No,
Check it. Add it to the list, baby. Add it. Add it.
I'm just saying.
No.
But but anyway, all right, we're gonna go ahead and end this episode. Thank you guys so much for
Yes.
tuning in to Level Uploading Fight Feelings Face Facts with my amazing friend Danielle.
Love people for sure.
Bye.